Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
How to generate hundreds of qualified leads like clockwork. Now, I can imagine as a coach, consultant, or small to medium business person, the goal of you running your business is to basically help your clients have a happier existence. Now, I've got a question for you. Do you find yourself maybe cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in your face? Or are you like some of the people that end up coming to us, just sending out hundreds of emails without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out? Or are you maybe amongst the thousands of small to medium businesses that spent $3 billion in the last couple of years on ad spend without even generating any qualified leads? I mean, seriously, that's a lot of money. All the poor people in the world right now, equal maybe 3 billion out of the 7 billion people that we have. And if you just gave each and every one of them $1, that's the amount of ad spend that is going down the gurgler at Google headquarters, where small to medium businesses are not even generating any qualified leads. And if you're among those people, I can imagine that must be putting a dent, first of all, on your emotions, not just on your cash flow, but then just the emotions of you not being able to maybe, pay rent or, pay your team or even put food on the table. You know what I mean? And, at the end of the day, what you need and what I know that would work for you is something that not a lot of people have ventured to create within their business. And I know if you're a coach, consultant, or small to medium business owner right now, what you need is a client generating system, okay? This will be a system that consistently drives, prospects and turns them into leads or on your website, while it actually follows them up until they become clients that pay, stay, and refer. And all of this is done with automation independent of you, the coach, the consultant, or in an Internet Explorer in a systemized format with predictable results. Okay, so if you would have noticed at the beginning of season 4, we've been talking about the best strategies of creating your business, and if you are on track to actually meet your goals this year. And if you would notice on episode number 3, we talked about clarifying your message, because a lot of people don't quite know what message they need to be putting out there in the marketplace. And then episode number 4, season 4, we started talking about your website, which so happens to be the platform where you tell your story. And then episode number 5, which is the one behind this one, we're talking about content and how to actually generate hundreds of qualified leads, like clockwork, using content. Now, what we're doing is using all of that information that we have in order to create your perfect lead generation machine. And I can imagine right now, if you're on the internet or, following some sort of, marketing or digital marketing information, you would know that or have seen that the infatuation of, the internet marketing space is just really set on what they call lead funnels. Okay, if you go on Facebook, you're likely to be hit by ads that are offering to show you how to make it rain with thousands of leads on autopilot. But how does this actually work, and does this fit into your business, especially if you're consulting or you're training or you're just disseminating information or just your expertise, or you are working towards becoming a paid speaker? Okay, and you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not even at all or remotely opposed to teaching lead generation techniques, but all of this only works if you've got the right systems in order, if you've got the right setups behind the scenes to catch those leads and then convert them into paying customers. And I do think there's an issue with just thinking about a lead funnel in and of itself. After all, you just don't want leads, okay? You want new and returning customers on a consistent basis, because customers and clients are the people that then pay. Customers and clients are the people that then obviously keep your business up and running, and that's where you get most of your referrals. And that's the reason why I'm saying to you, forget all that you have known, forget all that you have been taught, forget all that you have created. What you need is a client generating system. Okay, and then I'm going to be telling you how to do this as we go into this podcast, but I just want to have you understand that it's not leads that you're after. It's not social media or any whiz bang tool that is out there on the marketplace. What you need is clients, people that are actually going to be paying you money in order for you to provide them with the value that your business brings to the table. Okay, and I can imagine you as a business person or as an entrepreneur or as a consultant, marketing is just one aspect of running a successful business. All right, you're going from hiring and managing new staff, you're balancing books, and you're driving growth and a whole lot more other things in between. And it all feels like a constant balancing act where you're pulled in multiple different directions all at once. At the end of the day, your real goal is just to help your clients. But how do you help these people if they haven't shown up at your doorstep, if you haven't actually generated any of these customers to come through to you? Okay, and like I said, most of us don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate this whole world of online marketing. Once you have a system and a process to generate clients on a consistent basis, you, my friend, will actually have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I work with a lot of consultants and coaches out there, and some service professionals, and most of them simply want to work with just about 10 of the right clients at any given time. You don't want hundreds of followers on LinkedIn. You don't want thousands of Twitter retweets and all that stuff. You just need 10 clients. Have you ever actually looked at it in your business right now, or in the work that you're doing? If you have 10 of your best clients, you, my friend, will actually have a business that's profitable and enjoyable, because now you no longer go out and look for more customers. You now go and seek products to sell, your customers, and then you're no longer seeking for market share. You're now going for wallet share. So if you just have 10 people that are absolutely raving fans of what you're selling right now, you can reach whatever targets or goals that you have for your business, and that is a proven fact. Okay, so if you don't believe me, let's just do the math. And if you cannot reach your goals with only 10 customers, then maybe you need to look at your processes, you need to look at your products, maybe you need to double your prices, something of that nature, for you not to have so many people that you have to answer to or you have to deal with at any given moment, but just 10 of your ideal customers. So let me just do the math with you before you chop my head off and say, nah, I need more customers than that. And so let's say you've got maybe 4 clients right now that are your absolute best, and then the rest are just, maybe helping you pay the bills. And you want to maybe get 6 more of those people. So a typical consultant or coach would maybe acquire new clients by attracting a lead that wants to meet and learn about how they might be able to help them, right? That's just basically how we work. So let's say 1 in 4 of these meetings turns into a client. And I know that's a terrible conversion rate than what we actually help you achieve. But let's use that to be conservative, because obviously I've heard you in your head saying, nah, I don't need 10. And how do I convert 1 in every 4, etc., etc.? Because some people don't quite know, like, and trust my business as yet. And obviously, once you've got a client generating system like I will teach you, you would actually be converting maybe 1 in 3 or 1 in every 2. Okay, so with the above math that I just said, you're converting 1 in every 4. It will take you about 24 sales meetings to get an additional 6 clients that are needed to reach your quota of 10 that I mentioned earlier on, and maybe meet your revenue objectives or your actual business goals. So in building a lead generation and conversion system, there are 2 primary questions that you need to bear in mind. So question number 1 is, what does it take to get a consistent flow of appointments so you can convert more appointments into clients? So if you're doing 1 in 4, how are you going to be constantly getting that 4 people coming through in order for you to get that 1 client? Obviously, the answer is that you build a system that does that without your involvement in it. All right, and you won't have to worry about all the lever pulling elements and all the moving parts that are involved in any lead funnel today. If you set it up, okay, you would definitely be able to be generating those 4 calls that then result in one client every single time that you speak to those 4 people. So if you've got a week that starts on Monday, so you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you are speaking to people, if you set up if you build a system that actually helps you generate a call every single day, you are guaranteed that every single week you are going to be converting a client that absolutely wants what it is that you are selling. So like we said, if you need 6 clients, you want to build a client that gets you in front of 10 to 12 qualified prospects, and you'll land 6 clients in a matter of weeks. And it's that simple. Okay, you want to make sure that the system is consistent, is going to be you're going to be accountable to actually follow through with the whole system. And I'm just going to give you maybe 10 or so steps that are involved in creating a customer generating system for your consulting business. And if you want me to set this up for you immediately, just check whatever email that came with this podcast, or look onto livelongdigital.com.au, schedule a call with me, and I can draft for you a wireframe of what a lead generating funnel looks like, from the lead magnet to the emails that you need to send out, to the sales page and to the page that sells your consultation, up until the calendar, all the steps that you need to create, you know what I mean? And then pretty much all you do is you just drive traffic to the lead magnet, and then the whole automation does the work for you behind the scenes without you being actively involved. So you work once, and then it automatically brings in all the leads for you. All you got to do is just set goals and targets for how many clients that you want. And like we have said, you only need maybe 10 clients. Like if you have more than that, then maybe you're going to need an account manager. But realistically, for you to actually provide value to, a set of clients, 10 is usually one that we can definitely hold, by ourselves before we start engaging maybe an account manager. And 10 is usually really good for you to set up your revenue streams or your business goals right there. Talking about goals, right? So for you to actually have these meetings, you actually have to have a target of how many you want to execute maybe every week, or how many you want to target every month, in order for you to reach the quota of clients that you want to receive. So you want to set a goal for these meetings, all right? The very first step is to determine the revenue for the year or the month, that you want to achieve, and then reverse engineer that number backward and determine how many clients you need to reach that goal. All right. If you understand how much each client is worth to you and how much revenue you want to generate, you will then be able to say, if you are, say, maybe looking for $250,000 in 12 months, that means you need to sell maybe something for $500 or something for $3,000 or something for $5,000. The $500 product you need to sell to 42 people. That's a given. The $3,000 product you need to sell to 7 people, and the $5,000 product you need to sell to 4 clients. All right. So which one is easier for you to sell? A higher tier product or service to very few people. Okay. So that's the reason why I said, look at your pricing, look at what you're selling, and then figure out what your revenue goals are, and then just go for that number of people that you need to generate in order to turn into clients that will then pay you that amount. So in the example that we said, let's say your revenue goal is $250,000. If you're selling a $5,000 service, all you need is 4 people in order for you to be able to sort of reach that sort of goal, and they're paying you, say, at 12 months. All right. So figure out what it is that you need to arrange for yourself and what your goals are, and then just go after it. All right. Because once you know this goal, once you know this target, once you know this number, from this point, you just simply need to factor in how many appointments it will take for you to land 1 new client. And then, with the example that we were giving a little bit earlier on, 1 in every 4 calls that you make results into a client. So, you then just need to apply that metric that you need X amount of meetings per month in order for you to generate X amount of leads. Okay. I mean, you may not know how many meetings, but it's a number that you need to watch and continuously reduce as much as possible, because lowering this number is the key to success. If you can actually go as low as, if you do 4 meetings, you get 2 clients out of that, that's a 50% conversion rate. And once you actually are able to be doing that, all you're doing is going into the marketplace, picking up the clients that you want and bringing them home. But for you to be able to do that, you need to understand who can you give the most value to? Who can you serve the most to? That's why you need to identify your target market and not only define who your ideal client is, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you don't know who you are reaching out to, it will be difficult for you to convert them into a customer that pays, stays, and refers. Because you know what? You don't know what pain they're going through. You don't know what, payoff they're looking for. You don't know what problems they are facing. So therefore, whatever solution you present to them might not actually work. Okay, so it is my hope that you have a pretty good idea of who your ideal client is for your business. But just keep this in mind. The first target group that you able to work with and get results the quickest is people that you have an intricate understanding of what they're going through right now. The reason I advise focusing on this group of people that you can help the most and the fastest is because that's when you can actually be able to demonstrate how you can help them easily, and getting them quick results. It turns them into raving fans, cheaper, better, faster, okay? Without you having to spend so much money trying to educate people that don't even want what it is that you're selling, all right? So I can say, maybe as a marketing consultant myself, I can use a set of tools that show me how badly a business needs marketing help. All right, we've got a free SEO audit tool that you can actually jump onto our website and check how your website is ranking amongst your competition. And it's just a matter of auditing maybe your online presence and auditing what it is that you are doing against what your competition is doing. And all we just then have to do is make sure that you are being found where your customers are searching. All right. And once that's in place, once people find you, you definitely need to have the content that will then help them engage with your business and educate them to want more, be more, and have more. And if you would notice that in our podcast here, we actually mentioned in episode number 5 of season 4 to use content. Okay, if you would go back to that episode where we were talking about how producing just one piece of content per month would actually make it easy for you to reach out to your audience, because once you've created that piece of content, you then create maybe a checklist or maybe a video out of it, and then amplify that piece of content, and it can now start to help you generate as many leads as you can. All right, because if you can drive people to your site, but they don't have anything for them to be engaged with or to be educated with, or something that showcases your positioning and your authority and maybe inspires people to want more and have more, how are people going to know that they have arrived or they are actually doing the right decision by following you? All right, so there's so many other tools that you can utilize in order for you to have those people continuously following you. And once those people have exchanged their email address with that piece of content, you are building a list. Now that list needs to be nurtured. Okay, people get to know you, like you, and trust you, and it's all done automatically through your nurturing system. Because if you know the right kind of people with the right kind of pain, you would then know what content to be passing on to them in order for them to solve their problems. Okay, and once that nurturing system has been created, that's where all the automation is happening. Because it might take maybe between 10 to 13 times until somebody actually knows how you can help them, and they trust you enough to allow them to do so. You know what I mean? You can't be picking up the phone all the time and asking them, hey, so Mr. Client, where are you now in terms of going with our proposal? What's up about our deal? That kind of talk. Everybody's busy, but if they can get educated in their own time, if they can get educated in their own space, that will actually make life a whole lot easier. Okay, so with that piece of content, you're generating a list. Okay, even if your list is very small right now, if you're on Facebook, you can literally boost that post and look for what's called a custom or lookalike audience. Okay, this lookalike audience is where Facebook will do all the hard work for you to go out and look for people that resemble the leads that you already have. Okay, so you're leveraging the tools that you're using. Instead of sitting on Facebook and gossiping, why don't you actually let Facebook do the work for you in order for you to then grow your list and actually reach as many people that you possibly couldn't have done by yourself? All right, but you got to do the work. You got to show people, you got to know who you want first, so that your list is not just filled up with useless names and numbers or people that will never convert in the first place. All right, so with that content upgrade that you would have upgraded, try and amplify that on social media, or on Facebook especially, so that Facebook can look for a lookalike audience for you, and then you don't have to overly go out of your way to search for those leads. All right, you remember when we started this podcast, I was talking about how a lot of people are maybe cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in your face. It's only because you haven't engaged that person. They don't know you from a bar of soap. You haven't educated them to want more, be more, and have more. And you haven't even positioned yourself as a person who can solve their problem, because you haven't shown them that you have an intricate understanding of what they're going through and how your solutions will be able to help them. And once people are in your list, they will start engaging with the stuff that you're putting out there. Offer value to those who respond. Okay, because it's not a given, or it's not a gift that people just respond to your posts on social media. It is actually a blessing in and of itself, because once somebody responds to your content upgrade offer, just simply reach out to them and offer maybe a valuable service for no charge, as a way to demonstrate how great it might be to work with you. So literally help people by actually helping them. All right. You see, like us as a as a marketing consultant, I'll give you an example of what it is that we do. If you download any of the posts or any of the content upgrades that we've got out there, we actually then maybe do a audit, and I can send it across to the person free of charge, even though we actually charge for audits like that. But if somebody has responded to our content, the first thing that we do is we want to engage them and educate them on what it is that we can do, and really open up communication channels so that they can be able to reach out to us whenever they are ready. And at the end of the day, sometimes you really need to create some really good value. So I even spin up a nice looking report and offer to simply mail this to them, with an offer to sit down with them and go over the plan of action for improving their current marketing situation, which is what I'm offering to you right now. That if you jump onto any of our lead magnets, I'll reach out to you, or you can reach out to me, and we can create a marketing system which will definitely help you create revenue streams that will skyrocket your profitability and ensure that your business remains 100% bulletproof, even through marketing downturns, even through global pandemics and sweeping lockdowns. Because if you have a consistent tool and system that helps you generate qualified clients like clockwork, you, my friend, would never starve, or you never go through what people in your industry are going through, which is feast or famine. Okay, and this is basically what we say when somebody shows up on our doorstep. All right, would you like me to show you why your competitors are outranking you and what you can do about it? And we're always happy to show them free ranking factors and create a custom plan for them. No cost, no obligation. Help people by actually helping them. How else are they going to know what it is that you able to do for them? And once that's in play, we already qualified them based on their response, whether we want to work with them or not, and actually set an appointment immediately. Okay, because when we then drive clients to say, hey, let's sit down, that's already a discovery call that we're already moving somebody along the buyer's journey. Okay, I mean, you can do a lot of this free consulting, but if you don't target and educate your audience properly, then you're just wasting your time. Okay, what I'm saying is, it doesn't mean that you only need to help those who are ready to buy, because at any given moment in the marketplace, you've got 3% of people that are ready to buy immediately, and then you got 67% of people who might need a bit of inspiration, might need a bit of education, might need a bit of engagement in order for them to to convert. And then you've got 30% of people who, even if you do it for them, you offer it to them for free, they will never convert. Okay, so you want to be able to spot which ones are easy to convert, that 3%, and who forms the 67% that you might need to convert. All right, and just keep offering value. All right, because the moment somebody gives you an opportunity to have a chat with you, deliver value, all right, so that they're not going to go anywhere else, what then happens is what we call reciprocity. Okay, if you give somebody enough value, the only way they can pay you back is usually through their credit card, because that's what they know the most. All right, so this is very significant. We get paid in direct proportion to the value that we give to the marketplace, because the client or the prospect doesn't care what it is that you know. They care how you be able to help them, and how are they going to know how you're able to assist them with whatever problems they might have, is by you literally going out of your way to show them you can help them by actually helping them. And once all this is in play, close the deal. All right, you've got a customer that has shown interest, that you've got a customer that is sitting in front of you on a discovery call. The last thing that you need to do is just ask for the business. Okay, you've done the research, and so you assume you've got all the answers. You've given them an entire plan. You're simply just going to show up and give them the value. All right, at the end of the day, the key to engagement and the key to this whole scenario is for you to generate clients, right? So if you're not going to ask for the business, then how are you going to be able to convert them into a client that pays, stays, and refers? Okay, so if all of this that I've been talking about is done properly, you simply just need to ask them if they would like to achieve this kind of gains by working with you, and leave it to them to make that decision, most of the time. If you have provided enough value, if they've actually seen the trust signals, 9 times out of 10, people would say, yep, where do I sign? And while there are a few things that you might need to just maybe get in place initially, there's a few moving parts. You just want to test and tweak as you go. A customer or a client generating system doesn't have to be very complex. It just simply needs to be based on your overall growth and needs that you have for your goals. All right. So that's it. That's really it. What you really need to do, first of all, you need to make sure you have that number or the goal that you need to reach. And please bear in mind that only 10 clients will actually make you reach those goals. If you can't do it with 10 clients, then maybe you need to look at your pricing. You need to look at your conversion rates. You need to look at the value that you're putting out in the marketplace. All right. And at the end of the day, all you gotta do is start delivering outstanding results to your clients so you can win their loyalty after you've closed that deal for life. And those clients will then sing your praises to their family, to their friends, to their colleagues at barbecues, and even strangers on the bus. And I'm not even kidding. So if you need more tips like this on how to grow your business, just check out livelongdigital.com.au. Find out how we obviously have set up our client generating process. This podcast is also part of the process. And then perfect your lead generation follow-up and create the content that your customers need on the client journey, and make sure you've got a sales conversion strategy lined up for the moment that these people have shown interest in what you're doing. And pretty much once you've done that, you'll be able to generate hundreds of qualified high-ticket clients like clockwork. So you never have to maybe rely on cold calling or emailing just to beg clients to hire you. I can't wait to see your success, and I can't wait to see you, showing up in the marketplace there and providing value for those people that will pay you, stay with you, and refer more clients to you. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au